Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into this intro with this wonderful human being that I met a few weeks ago. His name is Tim Hall. Tim is a mindset, performance, and breath coach, where his passion lies in helping athletes, business leaders, or individuals unlock highest fulfilled version of themselves. He became passionate about this from healing his own journey from losing his mom at a young age. I apologize if I put in the accent. I really do appreciate it. And our condolences. With school, relationships, socializing, confidence, all the qualities that can make you think twice about where life is heading. But always having a tiny flame inside burning that was enough to step out of his current mold, a look into who he knew he could truly become. And this started a new chapter, traveling, meeting different people, experiencing new growth practices, and learning new tools that would help him become not only the person he is today, but the identity of the coach he shares with everyone in his life. His past professions of owning businesses, playing professional sports, coaching professional sports, has given Tim so many challenges, experiences, and a greater understanding of how to get the best out of people in a way that inspires them. That is a beautiful journey.
Thank you. And it's only, I reckon, 5% through. I've got so much more ahead of me, so much more to grow and learn and experience. And yeah, I think that's what life's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much. It's very profound that you've identified these struggles, and then you've also found the wisdom from that to help others. I think that is such a beautiful, beautiful stance as a coach.
Yeah, yeah. We constantly reflect on ourselves and on our life, and we can stay in that area, that path, and not feel sorry for ourselves, but just not allow that to grow us, not allow that to evolve us. Or we can sort of change our perspective and use our path as a tool, as an inspiration about, all right, this is what I can utilize in my own growth, in my own happiness and fulfillment, and take that on in life instead. And that's the path I chose, and it's allowed me to achieve a lot of great things in my life, meet a ton of great people, travel the world, and continually always looking to up level my life along that way as well.
Amazing.
I love how you tied in the imagery of the tiny flame.
Yeah.
And stepping into your current mold, because I know for other people that we have interviewed, and for myself included, there have been times that I felt like that inner light has been dimmed because of the circumstances going on in my life. So recognizing that flame is still burning, I think is amazing.
Yeah, I think no matter what, we always have that flame burning. It's just whether we can see it or not. It's whether we can feel it or not. So, always trying to do things in our life that, still align to, where we want to go, align to things that we value, that makes us happy. That's what just allows that light to just be seen. And for most of us, that's all it takes. If we can just see that little flame there slightly burning, then one day something's going to happen in your life. It's going to be a shift where it's like, all right, I know that's there, that burning desire to do this or achieve that is really inside me. And I know I can achieve it. I know I have the capabilities to do it. And then that little flame is just the one thing that can just make you take that one step in the right direction. And then it just can change the path your life can then take.
Wow. See, let's talk about that next one step, right? I love that you touched on it, because when it comes to that inner flame, we do have it, but sometimes it's either it implodes and we don't take that step,
Mm-hmm.
or we use it kind of like a rocket that turns us in the right direction, like that type of force. Now, understanding that, I would love to know about your powerful morning routine. that leads you to the best version of yourself. Because I know a powerful morning routine usually does take you into that next step, that best direction.
Yeah. So that aligns to that little flame. Like, we need to do things that inspire us, that we value. And when it starts in the morning, when you wake up in the morning and you automatically start doing tasks and practices that help really build that flame up, fuel it, then that just goes into the rest of your day. So for me, it's always coming back within myself, because I am the one that's going to open the doors and create the day that I desire. So if I'm doing the work on myself first thing in the morning, if I'm just working on being present and understanding this is where I currently am, this is how I'm currently feeling, this is what's happening in my day and some of the obstacles and challenges I might face, then that's what allows me to really, step into my day feeling more confident, more aware of what I may face, and be more open to accepting different opportunities that come our way that, normally if we're not present, we may not recognize it. They may be there every single day, but we may not recognize them because we're so focused on, surviving the day, or, we're connected to other people or different emotions. But by being present to ourselves, we can see different opportunities that are presented in front of us. And, that's, for me, being in America right now, coming from Australia, that's what created that opportunity for me, because I am someone in my morning, as part of my routine, it is about being present. It's about creating that mind space that I'm in a calm, present place. When I did step out in my days, there was different opportunities I was starting to see about personal growth, about business, about different adventures. And then because I could see those opportunities, I was in a much braver mindset to take a risk, to accept a new challenge, to go down a path that, normally I wouldn't, because I've never experienced that before. So I was able to sort of shift that boundary that I was safely living in, that comfort zone, to be able to go down a new journey, because I could see these opportunities, and that little fire inside of me, again, just wanted me to reach out and grab those and take them. And here I am, like 2 years later, I'm in America and I'm following my passion. I'm doing something I love. And it does all stem back to that morning routine every single day, just connecting to that authentic version of myself to bring the best out of me. And that's what, really sort of opened up different paths that my life has taken.
Wonderful. Let's give people a sample, right? Let's give people a sample. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folk of all. To make sure that's added. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give people a taste of fix my morning routine. I'm going to give you basically, I wanted to grow and change my morning routine a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to critique me, use your coaching style, do your thing,
Mm-hmm.
and let me know what I should do to kind of change this. So I usually wake up, kick myself out of bed a good portion of the time. Run to this altar. I'm Nichiren Buddhist, and I chant with SGI, so I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo,
Mm-hmm.
and I do that for probably an hour, usually
Mm-hmm.
an hour. Then I get coffee, or I get coffee beforehand, one or the other, depending on how nervous I am that day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I start doing reading some religious text. Then I go into technical text. Write down my gratitudes probably in between that, and then listen to my 3-minute long affirmation recording
Mm-hmm.
to help me kind of set myself up for the direction of my day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hop into the meetings that I started creating. Where do you think I should add some additional or change or get rid of anything in that set?
I think you got a beautiful morning routine, because you're giving a lot of time to yourself. You're allowing you to come back within, to find that peace, to find that present state, like I said before. The only thing I'd add is probably some movement element to it. All right. Because when we move our body, obviously our brain release different chemicals from our mind, from our brain, that allows our body to react a certain way. So when I talk with my clients, there's always an element of writing. because we need to get out of our head. And by writing, we're visualizing as we write. So the journal aspect side of that is always a writing aspect. There's always a movement, and the movement side of it can be like, I love to do cold plunges. So every single morning I'll jump in my cold plunge. All right, I'm not running laps or doing a circuit or anything like that. But again, my body is working out in that moment. But simple things like stretching, like doing 5 minutes of stretching, just getting that body moving, getting yourself starting to flow is a huge part of it. Then it's coming into a mindful practice. So obviously breath work is a huge part of my daily routine. For yourself, it's meditations, it's whatever it might be, but be able to just to close your eyes, to switch yourself off from the environment around you, to come back within, again, to be present, to find peace, to allow yourself to visualize the day that, that's in front of you, to visualize that version of yourself that you're going to be. All these things are very powerful to help you show up as that highest version of yourself. So many of us will jump out of bed, or like you said at the start, kick ourselves out of bed. So for me, I jump out of bed with excitement every day. But if you're someone who's kicking yourself out of bed, straight away, we're already starting a bit of a reaction, a thought reaction of, I'm not looking forward to this day, or I'm nervous about this. We're thinking ahead of where we really need to be in that moment. So to be able to come out and have a structured routine that you just focus on that time. Don't look at your phone. Don't go grab the cup of coffee straight away, because all that stuff is changing what's happening inside you. It's changing the way you're thinking. It's changing the way you're feeling. So to be able to get up and move at a peaceful pace into journaling, into a mindful practice, into some stretching, and then getting into your daily routine after that, I believe is a much more powerful way to do it. That's you showing up present. That's you building awareness. That's you building that highest version of yourself. So whatever you face going from that moment forward, you're going to be able to handle it. You're going to confidently step into any challenge that shows up. You're going to have some things that you're looking forward to in your day, which builds up that excitement level. You're just going to show up in a day where it's going to flow a lot easier, as opposed to dragging yourself out of bed, throwing that coffee down your throat, having that shower, then running out the door, getting to work. You've created a system where you're going to take those emotions you felt first thing in the morning into the rest of your day. So we want to try and eliminate that and start with more calm, peace, present, and awareness, and allow that to grow inside you and evolve that into your day.
Wow, incredible. Calm, peace, and awareness. Katie, I know I'm going to let you speak, but I'm just going to say I need to, wherever that timestamp is, I need to listen to that, because I'm going to establish that in my life. Go ahead.
I love it.
Thank you very much for the feedback.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like listening to Ace's morning routine, and I'm like, I'm already exhausted listening to her morning routine, because I have been told by several coaches, by several mentors, you need to have some kind of morning routine to have time for yourself in the morning. When I had a corporate job, it was really easy to have that morning routine, because I would get up before anybody else. I would take my time getting ready, have my breakfast, listen to a book while I was driving into the office. I would have an hour in the office before anyone else got there, so I could get all the mandatory stuff done, so then I wasn't bothered when I was interrupted by other things during the day. That has not been the case since COVID hit and I became working from home full time as a coach and anything. So my whole morning routine has gone out the window. And trying to find one that I can stick with has been my biggest issue, because the idea that I have to do something makes it so I don't want to do something. So trying to find a way to make it interesting and something that I want to do versus have to do. I like the idea of movement in the morning. Cold plunges, definitely not going to be my thing. But I like the idea of maybe putting on a song and just dancing in the room for a minute before leaving, and getting dressed and go brush my teeth or whatever. So I like these nuggets that you've provided on ideas on what I could do to at least start something, because I don't already have something in place.
Yeah, look, for most people who struggle with a morning routine, the last thing we want to do is make it a chore. Like I with all my clients, like I say to them, look, I'm just providing you a platform, a foundation. I'm going to introduce some things into your life, and we're going to hold each other accountable in that. So I know it's easy for you to take action. But as we continually work together, I want you to evolve that to what you want to do, to what inspires you, because that's what the routine is about. It's about also helping you find that inspiration that you can take into your day. So if it's dancing, if it's just going to get some sunlight, go for a little walk, whatever it might be, you know what you value highly, you know what inspires you, and that's what you need to incorporate into your routine. The other thing we do is, we rush. Like some of my clients, being professional athletes, they're going to be at the club at like 7 a.m. in the morning. So a lot of times they would have a lot of conflict of having a morning routine before they actually left their front door and got into their day. They couldn't understand. It's like, look, guys, what you're doing as far as your morning routine, this is allowing that highest version of yourself showing up. This is allowing all your good qualities, all your amazing personalities, setting a more positive attitude and mood for you to take into your day. This is the most important part of your day, and you're neglecting it because you don't want to get out of bed at 20 minutes, 30 minutes earlier, whatever it might be. Instead, you just want to fall back into that old routine, rush in, having that coffee, bang, you're out the door and away you go. So you've got to give yourself that time. You can't get up and rush in the morning. You've got to give yourself time, 10 minutes to wake up. I'll normally play with the dogs for a little bit or speak to my girlfriend before I actually get into my routine, because I want it to be, something that I value. And I keep reminding myself of the benefits. If I miss a day of doing my journaling, I notice straight away. I notice just how much easily I am triggered, just how different my attitude can be. I know straight away. It's because I've been doing it for the last 6 years that it is really easy for me to tell. But you have to really be mindful of what are you getting out of this? What are the things? Let's go through it. What are the things you value the most in the morning? So if it's dancing, if it's going for a walk, if it's just doing some stretching, find those routines that are going to benefit you, that you really value. Then it's making sure you're giving yourself enough time to do it, that you're not rushing from one thing to the next. Or you do your journaling, you shut it, you throw it to the side, you run into the shower because you've got to be out of the door. Making sure you give yourself that enough time. And then the third part is, what are the benefits? Well, how's this helping me be that better version of my day? How's this going to help me show up and connect better in relationships, to be able to do my job at a higher level, to just feel more excited about what's in my day? So when you can start thinking and connecting more to that side of it, journal about it as well. Write about it. In my journal, I write every single day. What am I looking forward to doing today? I reflect on yesterday, like what went well for me yesterday. So when I shut my journal, I know there's 3 or 4 things I'm already looking forward to today. There's 4 or 5 other things that I'm not as excited about, but there's those 3 or 4 things I'm connecting more to, that my emotions are more wrapped around those things, that when these other tasks show up, hey, that's fine. They're there. I'll get through them. We'll work through it. And then I know I've got this other good stuff that I'm looking forward to on the other side. So your morning routine is really based around those 3 elements. If you can find that and then build a consistency in that, then that's what allows you to, can keep evolving your routine to what inspires you, to the moment where you wake up every single morning and you look forward to getting into your morning routine.
See, I really want to note that the fact that you honestly know that your morning routine is going to evolve, it's going to grow, it's going to change. And a lot of people stay in their morning routines and then they kind of, it's almost like a stubborn stiffness of their morning routines, what I found amongst people, and then they don't grow.
Yeah.
I love that you added that journaling aspect so that people can actually really reflect on what's happening. Is it really providing the benefits in my life? Am I doing it just to do it? Is it a chore? That's really important stuff to reflect on. And I'm going to write this prompt down. Katie, we got to do this afterwards. What do we look forward to during our day? That's amazing.
Yeah, because
we'll put the prompts in the chat. Don't worry.
Yeah, because we all do get caught up in the negativity of the day, things we aren't looking forward to, or even when we reflect on what happened yesterday, we can easily get caught up into the bad things that happen in our day. but just to connect for one. And it only has to be a little thing. It doesn't have to be a big part that you're either looking forward to today or what went well for you yesterday. But to give yourself a minute just to reflect on it, to think about it. Maybe that same emotion you felt in that moment might come up again while you're doing that journaling. Like there's a shift right there. That's something that you'll take into your day. But you've got to give yourself an opportunity to find that space, to reflect on that, or find that opportunity to look forward to what's happening in your day. Because otherwise, we're just really oblivious to what's going on in our lives. We just go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, with no awareness in what we're doing, no understanding of why we're doing it, what we're going to get out of it. But all you need to do is find 5 minutes to put a bit more focus into it. And the way you attach yourself to those tasks in your day will completely change.
5 minutes. You hear that? It's not 5 hours. It's only that.
For someone starting out, that is fantastic. So if I just don't hit the snooze alarm, then there's my 5 minutes in the morning that I could do something to help make sure I stay in a positive mood instead of snoozing for another 5 minutes. So the idea that you could start with just that small amount of time, I think is amazing for, again, somebody who doesn't really have a morning routine. That is something that I can easily work into my schedule.
Yeah. And like I said before, with all my clients, there's an accountability aspect to it. Because when we're accountable to someone else, it's so much easier to take a step and be consistent in something. So if you find you do struggle with a morning routine, ring up your sister, your brother, your best friend, or do it with your partner at home, and have an accountability part of that, where if you're doing it with your husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, you might just share your gratitudes for the day. You might write down 2 things you're grateful for, or you might just share the one thing you're excited about for today. You don't have to share your whole journal, but by just having that little bit of accountability, it is so much easier to show up every single morning and do that routine that you've set out to do.
Now that makes sense too, because it's so easy to put something off to the side because you're focused on taking care of something else for somebody else. So I can definitely see the accountability being a huge factor in not only holding the other person accountable, but holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, it's a game changer. When I first started doing my business, I was pretty lax on that, and I sort of want to kick myself in the butt for being that way to begin with, because as time went on and different clients started to come in, and I think I was a bit lax because the first group of clients I had being pro athletes, you know, they're action takers. Like when they've got something that needs to get done, they'll normally get it done. But I probably wasn't challenging them to a higher level that they needed to. But what I found over the years of working with different clients from, you know, different ages, different backgrounds, different professions, is that everyone, no matter who you are, you could be the best of the best, the most inspiring person out there that can easily take action every single day. But there could just be one day where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you don't feel inspired, or you don't want to sort of go out and attack the day like you know you should. And that's when that accountability can come in. If you have an accountability partner, that's that one time you might wake up feeling that way, like, no, I don't want to let down my friend here. We made a pact that we're going to do our journaling every single day. So I'm going to get in and make sure I get this journaling done. And lo and behold, spend that 5 minutes, write your journal down, and then your mind shifts straight away. You're not in that negativity, lack mindset. You're now back to more that balanced mindset. Again, looking forward to what your day has ahead of you.
Wow, brilliant. I think I love that. I was actually, there was this time, you probably heard it, my back went out, and I had 3 people ask me if I went to the chiropractor because I asked them to. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So I can see getting text messages. Okay, did you journal today, Katie? Because I did my journaling and you're 3 hours ahead of me, so you should be done by now.
See, now that's
no, I was just gonna say, with the accountability side as well, you know, there's gonna be, there's just nothing but love to it. There's no judgment to it. Like I make this very clear again with my clients. Like if I work with female clients, I want them to know what you're sharing with me. That's something I truly appreciate, and it stays between us. It doesn't go anywhere else. because I'm going to be open and vulnerable in my journal too. Like, if I'm feeling a certain way, I want to try and write down and figure out, where's this coming from? How can I shift this? And you're going to see that. You're going to read that. But there's a trust you got to have between your accountability buddy that, that they're going to get it done. You don't need to sort of check up on them with a text message and say, have you done it yet? I'm 3 hours ahead of you. But, there's you just got to trust to get it done. But you've also got to have that love and respect in, it might be challenging for them to be able to share what they wrote down, or they might still be nervous about what they're writing, and maybe a bit of judgment coming back the other way. So accountability partner that you have has to be someone you trust, someone that you love, but be open, be respectful to what you're sharing with each other, and be mindful of the journey they're on as well, because they might have had a tough day yesterday and they could be struggling this morning when they wake up. So we just want to make sure, okay, we're there to support them. If I share my journaling, hopefully that inspires them to get in and get their journaling done. And more often than not, when we share things with each other, there is an element of inspiration that comes with that as well. So accountability partners with so many things, not just with journaling, with maybe around exercise, health, whatever it might be. When you can come with that love and respect and the trust element to it, it really has a tenfold effect on how you guys support each other on that journey.
Yeah, I do believe that. I was teasing because that's just one of the things. Yeah. But one of the things that I found is that I have had several accountability partners where it felt like it was competition, not that we were there to actually support each other. So I believe that reiterating it just helps remind me that before I quote unquote pick an accountability partner, I want to make sure that they are okay being an accountability partner first, and making sure that they have the space and time to do it, because I don't know what's going on in their world all the time.
Yeah. They're going to be all in on it. They 100% have got to be all in as well, because you don't want to feel like you're doing all the work, you're opening up and sharing, and it's not coming back your way. Because, as I say, when you receive something from your accountability partner, it does inspire you to go up another level. And whether that's a little bit of a competition thing, that's all right. A bit of competition's healthy, but as long as it's still coming from the love and respect and the support aspect of it, then that's fine as well. So yeah, I can't talk highly of having someone in your life that you can trust and keep yourself accountable with, because every single day you're going to take much better actions in health, relationships, personal growth, whatever it might be, just by having someone there that has got your back, is there when you need it, is there to listen, there to offer advice, there to share, all those types of things that should come from a good accountability.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because that's both of you, Katie, Tim, like honestly, accountability buddies. Yeah, if you feel that space of judgment, like you don't grow actually. You're being vulnerable to share with somebody that you're doing something that you've committed to do. And then that pressure to fulfill that doesn't always encourage movement nor growth, right? Sometimes just allowing somebody to fall a little bit, let them pick themselves back up, and then lovingly, and I'm saying lovingly in a way that's like compassionate, and in a way that's like, hey, this is based off of, we understand you're human. It's going to be all right. We're both growing for our happiness. We're going to touch base and make sure that we're accomplishing what we set out to accomplish, and hold each other accountable so that we can move forward in a way that we're both happy and also not codependent. Because if you have somebody chasing you to finish things, that doesn't work either. It's more of the, I know you can do it. Do you need me here for support?
Yeah. So two things there. Like with all my clients, I always say to them that even though I'm the coach, you're paying me to guide, support, and educate you, but you're here to also inspire me as well. Okay. So when I read your journaling, or you share a story or something that's happening in your day, when we have that sharing aspect to our relationship, it doesn't matter what our role is. You're a leader in our relationship as well. You inspire me. So don't forget that. Don't forget, every time that you wake up and you're writing or doing things that we're going to be sharing with each other, you are inspiring me. So allow that identity to sink in with you as well.
Mm, love that.
That's a wonderful reminder, because I know for Ace and I, we do believe that our jobs are to empower our clients. Our job is to help them grow to the point to where they don't need us anymore and they're ready to move on to the next level. And that's a beautiful reminder as to bringing that awareness into just something as simple as the accountability.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Inspiration is so important. Like, look, as a coach, and I know Tim, you can attest to this, clients, we want to feel inspired by you as well. Like, it's not just, hey, pay me, I tell you what to do. That's not really kind of like how it's not, it makes it monotonous. It doesn't make it fulfilling for us.
Yeah.
And because, coaching is one of those things where you really do it for the fulfillment, right? We want to make sure our clients are growing. We want to make sure that they're doing their best and see how they're growing from there. And that inspiration on its own is just, nothing, in my opinion, nothing feels better.
It's a passion. To be a coach, you got to have the passion of seeing other people grow. And for me, it doesn't matter if you're a paying client or you're just a friend or an acquaintance that I know. There's the same amount of passion that I put into both spaces. And because you're right, it's seeing them take steps in the right direction, them sort of giving me feedback. I'm like, oh, Tim, yeah, I took your advice and I did this, and wow, like what a difference it's made. But I just want to run a marathon. I get that excited by it. So, you're right. As a coach, like, we're not there just there to give. We're there to receive. We're on our own journey still. Like I grow off every client I have. I'm growing off them as well. They're teaching me little things from their life that that I may not have incorporated or even thought about in my life. So and this isn't just in coaching. This is in everyday life. Like, we're always learning off each other. But coaches, and I know I can speak for myself, I have that awareness where I am very open to it. So it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I don't judge a book by its cover. When we have a conversation, I'm always going into that conversation wanting to learn from myself, to take that advice, to take someone's experience and see, well, how can I use that in my life to better who I am as a person, or to better the path that I'm on? So everything I do in my life, whether it's work or just a networking event or going down the beach with some friends, that awareness is always there, because I know everyone has some little trinkets that they can offer that can inspire me to change just one little aspect of my life that can probably make a huge difference in the long run.
And I love the surprise nuggets, the
Yes.
ones where someone just drops a nugget of wisdom and then they're like, I have no idea where that came from, but I just felt like I needed to say it or share it, and it be exactly what we need to hear, either as the recipient of coaching or whether it be the coach talking to a client. Or in my case, my son will drop a nugget and I was like, how did you get to be so smart?
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nuggets of wisdom that are so important. And I feel like that just brings new breath to life. And that just gave me a segue. Breath, you do breath work, Tim.
Yes, I do. That's another passion of mine. Absolutely.
So please explain to us what got you into it, and also how do you see that really helping your clients move forward in their lives as well?
So the first time I did breath work was about 6 years ago in Bali. So I'd finished coaching my team for the year, and I normally would go up to Bali for 1 or 2 months just to get away from where I was living in Australia. It's a 3.5 hour flight, so it's super close. And so I was up there doing a lot of sort of sound healings and personal development work. And a friend sort of saw my stuff I was posting. They're like, oh, I got a friend up in Ubud who does breath work. Have you ever done that before? And I'm like, no, like, I don't know anything about this. So I'm going to connect you guys and go up and experience it. So I went up to Ubud, and I'll never forget the experience. I knocked on his door, and the facilitator's name was Lucas Mack. He's actually in LA now. He actually works with a lot of sort of celebrities and that around LA. But he opened the door, and this guy, he's a New Zealander. He was bald headed. He was covered from like here around his neck, all down his arms in tats, completely covered. Then he had the gold grilled teeth going as well. And I'm like, what have I walked into here? Is this guy going to like, take me on a great experience, or is he going to kill me? Like, that's just the look that bikey sort of look that he had. And I'm like, nope, I'm stepping into this. And obviously, once I walked in there and had a conversation, he's a great guy. But he guided me on my first experience. And we did breathing for 2 hours nonstop. So just continuous mouth breathing. And that was a roller coaster experience for me. Like the highs of the highs, where there was memories coming back from like when I was young around mum, and me being in the pool swimming, and mum asking me to wheel her outside in a wheelchair just so she could watch me swim. Like, sort of stuff you don't think about. All these memories just started coming back to me again. So there was those highs, but then there was also the emotions that came with that as well. And so I'll never forget, after that 2 hours, I had my journal there. I think I did about 6 pages of journaling, just sort of, releasing everything that was inside of me. But I knew from that moment that breathwork was going to be part of my life. So I did a lot of deep sessions with different facilitators, but then I started to evolve, breathing, how it could help me on a day-to-day basis. So I sort of went and studied it to learn all the ins and outs of breathing and how it benefits us and how our body reacts to it. And then I started creating short little programs. So again, with all my clients, I give them little programs around gratitude. So it's a 10-minute session where they can start breathing, because I feel like our breath is sort of our remote control to our nervous system. So if we can bring it back to a calm, balanced state, that's when our thoughts can really shift. That's when our perspective can change on the way we see life. So to do 10 or 15 minutes of just some breathing, and then guide them in through a gratitude practice, or it might be around your values, your purpose in life. Obviously, working with a lot of athletes, I'll do a lot of visualization around their performance, around their preparation. So to be in that calm, relaxed state and to easily connect to the words that I'm sharing with them, it allows them to step forward. It allows all their vision, all their energy to now look ahead, as opposed to being trapped behind. So every single day. So I did breath work in my plunge this morning, and it was around gratitude. And it was around gratitude for being able to jump on this podcast with you guys, because it's given me an opportunity to continually share my story, my past, my experience. And again, we spoke about it just before, hopefully offer some leadership to some other people out there. So to be able to just be in that peaceful state, to breathe, to visualize, to just be in those thoughts. When I come out of that, everything's just clear. Everything that I've just experienced, then my mood has shifted, my attitude has shifted. I'm more positive after that experience. So that's what breath work really offers me every single day. But it's a powerful, powerful practice. When I share it with clients, the deeper side of it as well, just to be able to release any traumas, any obstacles that they've been holding on to. Because without getting into the science side of it, it's just how our brain switches off when we do deep, continuous breath, and how memories and emotions can then show up. It's a great way for us to work through those, because we need to remember we are survival beasts. We can survive anything that shows up in our life. It's just how we attach ourselves to it, how we see it. So when we do breath work and we reconnect back to some traumas or some emotions or challenges that we're facing in our life, our brain is already starting to think of the solution. It's already showing you the path to what that solution is. But unfortunately, in everyday life, there's so many distractions, we can never get clear on what that is. But when we go into our breath, shut our eyes, get ourselves to that state, we can start to see the solution. We start to feel the solution. So then when we come back out and we walk into our everyday life again, we almost feel like it's done. I know what I need to do. I know what my next actions need to be. So that's the power of breathwork. And that's why, as I said, it's been a big part of my life for the last 6 years. I'm continually trying to upskill myself in that, because I feel like I've only tapped into a very small part of what it can actually give us. But to be able to utilize it every single day, it's been a big shift in what my personality is and how I show up every single day as well.
Wow. That's exciting.
It is very exciting.
I could share examples. Like I had a client, she had anxiety 2 days before she would jump on a plane. And I didn't know this. I was working with her at the time, and she actually messaged me when she was at the airport. She's like, Tim, I'm in trouble. Like, I can't, my breath is just nowhere. I'm just thinking the worst thoughts at the moment. And so I got her there in the airport just to start doing some breathing. And then I sent her a couple of little more audios afterwards to help with a bit of anxiety. And she messaged me when she got off the plane. She's like, Tim, you'd be so proud of me. By far, that was the best flight I've had in years. Like, to be able to just be in control, to calm myself down, I easily got through it. And she goes, everything you've sent me, I've put in a folder, because from now on, whenever I get on a plane, I'm listening to what all that audio stuff you shared, because I know that's what's going to help me get through that next flight.
Oh,
That's amazing. It is to be able to provide that kind of insight for them as an individual, and them know that this is a tool that now works for them. So then that way they can continue using it in the future. So that's wonderful. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And I want to keep going. There's so much more to do, but I know we're coming up on time. Tim, you know, we're probably going to ask you to come back, probably. So,
I would love to.
or even whenever you're, we very welcome to come back. Thank you very much for sharing your insight. Appreciate you. Goodness gracious, there's so much wisdom that was dropped out. I love it. Katie, I'm going to toss it to you. Do you have any closing words?
Other than that, the power of breath is an amazing thing. And whether it be through breath work like what Tim does, or whether it simply be someone just taking a deep breath and letting it out so their body resets, I think we can all remember to try and do that a little bit more. We'll make life just go a little bit easier.
I'll leave you guys with one little tip that your viewers can share in as well. So on my schedule every single day at 3 o'clock, I have a little breath check-in where I'll do 5 breaths of inhaling through my nose for 7, holding for 7, exhaling through my mouth for 7, and holding for 7. And I'll just do 10 of those. It takes 5 minutes. And once again, all the chaos that has led up to that moment in the day, I'm just able to let that go, bring myself back to a balanced mindset to be able to tackle the rest of the day. I know 7 is a long count. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're actually doing 7 is quite a big number. But you can do 4 seconds. You can do 3 seconds. You can do 5 seconds, whatever feels comfortable for you, just to find that time to do 10 breaths of inhaling, holding, exhale through your mouth. Hold is a game changer again in the way you'll attack the rest of your day.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and with our audience. And again, thank you for just being a part of our community, because what you are doing is amazing work.
And I appreciate you both.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.